This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. We're here in Liverpool and I'm joined by George Warren. George, not often we get to speak to you, so how's life treating you?
Yeah, all good. A little bit better than my dad. He's under the weather, hence a rare occasion I'm doing a press conference.
You are doing a press conference and here we are, Nick Ball's return to his home city, and if there's anybody in probably British boxing who deserves a night like this, it is Nick Ball, because he's been on a tremendous run of tough fights up until the world title fights, and this is one which I think most people agree he deserves this.
Yeah, he's been in with now, in my opinion, back-to-back 3 legit world-class operators at featherweight. Isaac Dogboe, Ray Vargas, Ray Ford. For me, won all 3, should be here as a unified champion. Didn't get the decision against Ray Vargas. It was obviously declared a draw, but he didn't let that unravel or upset him, and did what he had to do in a very competitive but very good close fight where I felt he did enough to beat Ray Ford, who's I think now subsequently moving up to super feather. And as I said on fight night, for me, someone that will probably go on and do great things at super feather and become a 2-weight world champion.
With this fight with Ronnie Rios, obviously Nick will go in as that favourite, and rightly so. What challenges does Ronnie Rios pose to Nick Ball, though?
He's here to win. He's here to win. You know, he's going to come forward. I think he's going to try and out aggress the aggressor in Nick. Comes forward with that typical kind of Hispanic style at those type of weights. So he's going to try and, you know, I think unsettle Nick. But look, Nick's got to concentrate on what he can do in the ring. As long as he boxes to the calibre that he's capable of doing, I think he wins, and I think he can go on and stop this guy. And I think after that, it's about unifying the division and seeing him in bigger nights and becoming the big household name that we think he can for British boxing.
Also, with the likes of Andrew Kane, Mr. Turner on the card as well, who else are you looking forward to? What else are you expecting from this card on Saturday?
Well, that in itself, you know, Jack Rafferty, Henry Turner is a very good, very interesting, even money fight. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Andrew Kane back in action. He is someone that is very difficult to match, particularly domestically. There aren't that many options, and that's why we've obviously had to go with a foreigner opponent. But look, I expect him to do what he can do, and that's to go out and probably knock out his opponent and look good doing it. But he is very, very close and on the cusp to challenge him for world titles, in my opinion. And for me, one of the standout talents in world boxing, still a bit of a kept secret. He had his Queensberry debut back a couple of months ago in Belfast. Is Yarde Herrera, who for me is a phenomenal talent. This kid is capable, legit world-class operator.
Earlier this week, Georgia was all in Birmingham. Shabazz Masoud and Liam Davies. Liam Davies going from strength to strength. How confident are you that you chalk another victory up against Matchroom there?
Yeah, very confident. I mean, Liam's confident, and that gives us confidence. And you know, it's been a great journey with Liam. I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing him grow as a person and as a boxer. He's taken on every single challenge with both hands and capitalised on it. And now look, he's gone from undercards on, you know, West Midlands shows and in Telford and places like that to now topping bills against a big domestic and capable fighter in Shabazz, but a big domestic rival at Birmingham Arena. And look, it's a tough fight. Shabazz is very capable. You know, Matchroom have got big hopes for him in the future, but I think Liam should have enough about him. I think he's now sitting on his shots a bit more, and I expect him to try and get that stoppage later in the rounds. Provided
he is victorious, now he's keen to try and cement some form of a world title shot moving forwards. We know Nao Nue is the man of the division at this moment in time. Devsani's been quite vocal about Liam's chances in that fight. Do you think, where do you go in terms of those world titles? Is it all dependent on if Nue maybe vacates, or do you try and pursue that fight?
Yeah, look, there's different options. I think Liam's a young man. There is no doubt that Nao Inoue is, you know, undoubtedly one of, if not the best fighters on the planet. He's destructive, he can box, and he's a superstar in Japan. Someone that is selling out arenas at that type of weight in that country. It's incredible to see, and I tip my hat off to him. How long is he going to stay at the weight? I think that for me, if I'm guiding Liam at the moment, I'm probably looking at is Naya going to come up? If he comes up, is Nick Ball an opponent for him? And that could end up being something that Liam benefits from, them getting the shot at a vacant title. But look, he's driving us mad. He wants to come through this fight against Shabazz and then push on and, you know, go and try and legitimise himself as a proper world champion at that weight. And I think he's fully capable of doing it.
Obviously, with Liam fighting and Matchroom fighting Shabazz Masoud, on the theme of Matchroom, I'm sure you've seen Eddie Hearn mention that they're going to look to try and do 9 PM UK ring walk times for their main events moving forwards. Is that something which Queensberry are considering as well?
Yeah, look, we've done 9 o'clock before. We've done 11 o'clock before, and sometimes when shows have run a bit longer than we anticipate, they've even gone further than that. Look, we always try and take into consideration what sports fans and what fight fans want to see and what time they want these fights on. But I think simultaneously, a lot of that's led by the broadcaster. You know, we work with TNT Sport. They're our exclusive UK broadcaster, and they have other domestic content and live international content, lots of different sports that are kind of fixed at different times, and we have to work around those schedules. So it's a balancing act. You want to see young fighters get the opportunity to showcase their talents on live TV, and you also want to try and get your peak audience at a time where it's not competing maybe with Match of the Day, or if there's an 8 p.m. kickoff on Sky Sports with the football. So there's various different things that we look at, but look, ultimately, any feedback and, you know, customers or potential fans want to talk to us about that type of stuff, get in touch. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I think the majority of those decisions have to sit with the broadcaster.
Just a few other quick topics, George. Mr. Daniel Dubois spoke to Eddie Hearn earlier this week, said there have been some talks about trying to get a rematch in place. Do you think that's most likely now, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua too?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, Daniel's away. He's away with his family, enjoying a great win, a great performance, and he deserves to have his rest. We're not in any rush to catch up with him until he's back and talk about what that next fight looks like. You know, obviously, I'm talking to Eddie. I've spoken to His Excellency, and we'll get a bit more of a sense of the direction that we're going in when I get to Riyadh next week.
In terms of just any other options, what other options are there out there for him?
He's heavyweight champion in the world. He's got a lot of options. Whatever he wants. He is a sensational talent. He's someone that we've believed in since, you know, the age of 19 when he turned over with us. It's been an incredible journey. It's had a few downs, but mostly ups, and he's just knocked out a global superstar in front of 98,000 people at Wembley Stadium. So look, the world's his oysters. Options are aplenty.
Just as we haven't had a chance to speak to anybody from Queensbury since the whole kind of Chris Eubank Jr. Fiasco last week, if you was trying to get your take on it all now, the dust has settled a little bit.
Yeah, nothing really to say on it. I just, you know, not the place, not the time, not appropriate behaviour. I think it's not consistent with what Riyadh season's been about, which is trying to bring the sport together, trying to build cards, trying to promote the sport to the good of what it can be and what it's capable of doing, which is delivering great, iconic sporting events with competitive fights, which is what it's become accustomed to. So, yeah, apart from that, it is what it is.
Just one more from me, George, just because we haven't had an update recently. We've seen a lot of very good fights at light heavyweight recently. Mr. Anthony Yarde, what's the current situation between himself and Queensbury, and is there a solution on the horizon?
No, I mean, again, look, you know, Anthony's his own man. He's got his team around him. I'll leave him to talk about what he's doing in his career next.
George, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem.